good tone, you know, it's really good. Hello everybody, exciting times. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Today I am unboxing a new product from the company Joyo, who I've come across on Amazon before, kind of renowned for making affordable versions of pedals that we've come to know and love over the years. And they've got in touch, reached out to me to review this new product, which I actually can't find on Amazon at the minute in the UK, but is listed on their website, and it's a bass related product, of course. So what I'm going to do in this video is to unbox it, take a look at it, look at the features, and what I want you guys to do is in the comments leave me any questions you have about this product. Then in the full review I will make sure that I address those. So here we go, here is the box, time to unbox it. So here we go, here it is. This is the BanTamP bass amp, if you hadn't guessed already from the name. So yeah, this is a new bass amp product from Joyo. I'm led to believe that it's a 50 watt head, and some of the features are written on the box here. As you can see, it's got a 12AX7 preamp tube in it, so they've been used for years on bass and guitar amps. It's got a built-in compressor, 3-band tone control. It's got an effects loop, which I noticed, Bluetooth audio playback, so I think you can connect your phone or your device and play that back through the cab along with what you're playing. There's a foot switch with it, and as I say, 50 watts into a 4M cab. So for most bass players, 50 watts probably not going to be enough, but let's see what it can do. Typically this is going to be more of a practice amp style amp anyway, but I'm going to run it, put it through its paces and see what we can do. But first, just going to unbox it, see what we've got and see what the product's like. One thing I noticed on the Joyo website, that it was not really stated what the Bluetooth was for. So I'm kind of glad that we know what that is for now. So open the box here. Got the BanTamP bass user manual, which hopefully I won't need. Hopefully it'll all be pretty self-explanatory. Won't be a problem. So here it is. Wow, it's a lot smaller than I was expecting. I knew the box was quite small, but I presumed it would take up most of the box. Be more like an orange TerraBass size thing, but it's not. That's it. It's tiny. In comparison to my hand, it's, yeah, just slightly bigger than my hand. On all the documents and things, I thought it made it look bigger. But that's cool. That's really cool. So let's have a look at the unit itself. Obviously, gone for green. Not my choice of colour, but it works. It's cool. A lot of people love green. This is the Badass model, I think it's called. So it's BanTamP bass Badass, if you're searching for it. What have we got here? So we've got the low, mid, high. Nice firm knobs actually. They're not loose or anything. They're really solid travel, which means you can really dial them in gently. That's nice. Got the compressor knob here. I think that's the on for the compressor as well. So that's just without compression. Switch it down to engage the compressor. Then we've got the gain knob here, second, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. I'd put it first, but it doesn't matter. And then the master volume here. So that's going to be kind of your gain there, volume there, EQ, and then compression. Power amp switch there, tiny little switch that you'd kind of expect to see on the front of a bass rather than powering a whole amp, but that's cool. Input jack, obviously, and then I think the Bluetooth on and off here, it's marked with Bluetooth. So that will be that. On the back, we've got presumably the antenna for the Bluetooth system. I think that might unscrew. Yeah, unscrews if you don't want that around, which will kind of help with portability a little bit. Then you've got the 4-ohm minimum load speaker out, so 50 watts when you're going out of there into, say, 2 cabs or 1 4-ohm cab. Foot switch in headphones out, and an effects loop, so a send and return. So you could just use this as a tiny little power amp and use another preamp pedal, for example, and run that in, or you could put some funky effects in the effects loop, like a reverb or something like that. So nice little touch, good amount of versatility, and maybe a downside if you want to gig this, but it's using a center negative adapter, but potentially, I can't think if there are any, but there might be a pedal board power output out there that could power that. It's 24 volts with 3 amps. Don't think my Chocs one will do it, but there must be one out there. If you know one that can do it, let me know, because that could be a cool option as well. You could have this on a pedal board as a backup. Obviously it's going to be a bit of a hefty pedal board, but either way. I like the build actually. The build is really solid. You've got this kind of steel, aluminium look. Really good finish. Really well done. And it's a little bit chunky, but not heavy. It's probably about the weight of your average Class D head. But I think it's pretty impressive build quality for something that is not going to be terribly expensive. So that's the unit itself. Let's have a look at what's in the rest of the box. I've got this here is the adapter. So we've got just the standard adapter brick that you would typically find for a DC input. The cable that goes along with it. So standard UK plug with one of those awkwardly shaped 3-pin ones. We have this cable here. So this is, I think, the speaker cable. So a supplied speaker cable. It's too short to do much else. So it's got to be that. So that'll be useful because I don't have any speak-on to jack cables on me, I don't think. It's quite rare in the bass world now to find cabinets with jack to jack. So thank you for supplying one, Joyo. And then got the foot switch, which is really well built, very solid, better than you'd expect for the price, I think. It's going to do the job. Simple one switch on off, and standard jack input. And this here is going to be the answer to that input. Just a standard jack lead. It's marked as an instrument cable, but I think its intention is really as the cable for the foot switch. So now I've done that, we've seen all the little bits and pieces. I'm just going to go plug it in, have a first play, and get some first impressions back there. So plugging this in is going to be about as simple as it gets. I'm going to plug the Joyo speaker output using this cable that was in the box into the first Aguilar SL112 that I have here, and then I'm going to connect that SL112 to this second one down here at the bottom, and that should give us the full 4 ohms and the full 50 watts of power out of the amplifier. So there we go, that's the amp plugged in, sat on top of all this Aguilar gear, and then power on. There we go. No sound, no fan, it's just on. So let's grab a lead and have a play. Plugged in, tuned up, let's see what it can do. So I'm going to run it in normal mode without the compressor. Can't say compression in this video, can I? Compressor. Low, mid, high, all straight up the middle. The volume on the bass is up. The tone on the bass is up. It's my 59 NOSP bass that if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll have seen. But same bass as kind of usual now. And yeah, let's just turn up the gain, the volume. Good to start with, really good to start with, really solid tone. The gain is down pretty low at the minute. It's a really nice, fat, clean sound actually. It's pretty fat. That's somewhat of that kind of Aguilar character from the speakers, I think. Doesn't feel a long way away from what I'd be used to. Maybe a little bit less fur, a little bit less harmonic character than Aguilar, but feels like quite a lot of fat low end, and just really clean. So just going to try turn up the gain a bit more, see if we can get any kind of distortion or grit out of it. turn the volume down a tiny bit. Definitely a little bit of fur, a little bit ahead on that. So this is the low end. Nice. Take the low end all the way out. Definitely needed. About there, which is only about a quarter of the way on, it starts to just really fatten out and sound like a full bass sound. So that's lows back to 12 o'clock, mid-range, no mid-range. And then all the mid-range. These do feel a lot like kind of Fender Baxton Dial type EQ where you can add a lot but it doesn't actually do too much. It's only small dBs of incremental gain, which I think is quite cool actually, particularly for something like this where it's designed kind of as a at-home practice amp. Maybe it's going to be, because of the cost, quite an early player's amp. They're not going to be able to really make it sound bad. So that's mid-range back to the middle, and then the high end, I'll roll it all the way off. So this is where it is at the start. Rolled all the way off. It's darker, but it doesn't lose the character of the sound it had before. And then all the way on. Interesting, it definitely catches a bit more of that gain as well. So turning the high end up, you get a bit more of the dirt and the grit from the gain knob. And then compression. So just turn the compressor on, so it's engaged, and I don't know if you can see it from there, but the light goes red when the compressor is engaged. No compression. It's flat, sounds good. A little bit of compression now. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's there. Definitely clamps down on that initial transient and then really blooms out quite a lot. It's kind of more like an optical sounding compressor to my ear. Yeah, you can hear the transient come through and then it really clamps down and then just lets that bloom back out the other end of the note. This compression 3/4 of the way up. Yep, nice, and then all the way up, this full-on compression. Cool. So that's it. The compressor definitely does clamp down quite a lot. I think that knob is pretty much just a threshold knob, so it's just about the amount of compression you've got being applied to your signal, and it really does completely squish it down if you want it to. It can just completely even out your tone, so that everything is really solid. Might be cool for some fingerstyle players that are doing regular, repeated 16th notes, or if you are playing with a pick, some kind of consistent 8th note type groove. That's going to help you out a little bit. But yeah, it sounds good. I like the tone of it. It's just a really good, clean, solid tone. A little bit of something extra from the preamp tube, but in general, it's just a nice fat sound. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm going to definitely give it a review. I'll try the Bluetooth feature out as well in the review, see how well that works, see how that comes across, and yeah, dive deeper into it a little bit more, have a bit more time with it, and let you know how it gets on. So if you've got anything you want to know, please do leave that in the comments, and you can expect a review in the next week or so. Thank you for watching this video. Go and check out the Joyo BanTamP bass, badass, if you've got a spare moment, and I will see you soon with the full review.